imagine you open your garage door and you see the entire Atlantic Ocean. Close the door. Y'all need a boat. Y'all need a jet ski. Y'all might need a helicopter.
Just wanted to jump on here and give y'all a little update. I ain't got to see it in person yet, but I've had pictures sent to me. Y'all keep me and my family in your prayers, because from what I see, I have no fucking home to go back to.
Please announce that the United States will provide more than $1.5 billion to address Ukraine's humanitarian and energy needs.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
This video is going out to Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and FEMA. Hey, can y'all deliver my $750 and my wife $750 personally? Because, see, I would love to talk to Joe Biden, and she would love to meet Kamala Harris.
FEMA's here. You know what FEMA just told us? We can't get you a phone. I have no ID. I have no way to pay for food. He has no way to get gas. We're stuck. So we have to sleep in a car that's leaking with the same clothes we've had on since the...
It was a 30-foot wall of water just pushing through Lake Lure all the way down. My house washed away. I had a cat, I had 2 geckos. I lost it all.
It was like by a miracle that we made it. I started to call 911. I could not get through. I called again and I was able to get through. And I said, the water's coming in our house. And they said, get to higher ground. And I was like, okay, we're going in the attic. And we're overwhelmed with calls right now. That's all we can tell you to do. Your adrenaline's pumping. It's like, this is your saving.
Oh my God, he's going in the water. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Get out! Get out! Get out!
This is the last photo of a husband and wife in Asheville, North Carolina, sheltering on a roof from the flood. The roof would soon collapse, causing them and their 6-year-old grandchild to drown.
Welcome back to another episode of the High Frequency Chaos. Today, we're diving down the rabbit hole of the Hurricane Helene and what lies beneath the mountains. So grab your drink of choice and let's get diving. Salud!
shit. Yeah.
Well, my house is currently flooding. And my neighbor's house is... What is that? I saw a big old fat log come out. My car, gone. Could have been up there, but I decided to be hard-headed. Now that poor car is holding on by a thread. I called the emergency. They said they're going to be on their way, but I don't know how many people are probably already calling them. I probably should have left. I should have listened to everybody. But did I? No, because I'm hard-headed.
I'm okay.
My car's gone.
I'm okay. It's okay.
The everything's gone. It's all gone.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are your parents okay?
They're okay.
Was anybody in the gym?
It's okay. It's okay.
Holy shit. Yeah, one more of those. She's done. She's done. She's gone.
Watching the aftermath of this thing it's like watching a scary movie, but this really happened. This is part 3 of climate change and diving into Helene, and I'm showing you more footage of the devastation that this hurricane did on many communities and towns.
Yes, man. They on their porch watching us like a spectacle.
I've tried to record this video a bajillion times to be PC about this hurricane and its impact on Western North Carolina, but I'm just going to full send it here, y'all. Here we go. These mountains and our people were in no way prepared for this hurricane. And today on the radio, I heard the Red Cross was asking for leads to other communities that had not yet been communicated or received assistance from anyone. And also just within our region, there are still elderly communities and apartment complexes who have not yet had assistance. They are wandering around the parking lot because they cannot get in their homes because they're waterlogged and they need water. Like these elderly communities, they need water. We had a semi-truck, in fact, headed to the farm full of water, but they were turned away because they weren't associated, I guess, with FEMA. I'm not sure, but I do know they were turned away. There are people still stranded and looking for loved ones, but please don't mistake any of this for a roast of our first responders, because y'all, they're working their tails off, and many of them have literally lost everything, like their families and their homes, and they're still working around the clock to save lives and do the Lord's work out here. Not to mention just the community stepping up to the plate, our neighbors helping each other, rallying, saving lives, because humans at their core, we want to help each other, and we're shining a beautiful light in such a dark dark and confusing time. And I can't vouch for all the stories that you've heard or like seen on social media, but I do know as someone who has had friends who have lost loved ones to this storm, a lot of the horrific stuff is true. And I guess foolishly I thought more would be done on a national level, but what I can say is we're seeing humans rally at their core. We have Cajun Navy out here, people in personal helicopters, first responders, people on the radio working 24/7. I know I'm forgetting people, but these are humans at their core helping other humans. My blood's boiling and I'm confused and my heart's breaking, and nothing compares to the feeling of helplessness of knowing that people were stuck in these mountains around us, just 10 miles up, stranded, haven't had contact since last week. We're just praying Jesus is able to cloak them in peace and that people are able to find them, and we'll continue doing what we can on our community level. Thank you guys so much for helping us. We are just rallying, and this is the damn Appalachian Standard. Man, let me tell you, I love y'all so much.
You just don't even know what to do. You came to try to help and figure out, okay, what's next now? And I mean, it's just too big. It looked to me like a lake that we've seen for many years, and my friends that live there have seen for their entire lives, and then their families' lives before that turned into something that looked like probably a bit of a dump to anyone just looking at it. But when you put your eyes on it, it's just, it's these massive things that are out there, and there's so many of them, they seem small, and it's almost like imagining one when it was moving, it was a blender that was just taking out anything in its path, absolutely anything. And now that it's there and you try to start fathoming what a cleanup and a recovery looks like, this is going to take years and years and years to even get to a place that's solvable.
Hey, Alex.
Before we keep diving down this rabbit hole, in the last video, we learned about cloud seeding. We learned that the governments and the powers that be have technology to control the weather since 1947. And to manipulate and control, the weather by shooting lasers into the sky. They can't create that storm, but if a storm's approaching, they can manipulate it by shooting those lasers in the sky and impacting the frequency and the devastation by literally brewing up a storm. I know I'm way out there by being a conspiracy theorist, but yep, that's what this channel is about anyway. I believe that yes, the weather is controlled, and there is a bigger purpose for them not allowing private contractors, pilots, helicopter pilots, and citizens go into some of these areas. They're saying it's too dangerous, but no, the areas that these people are trying to go into, I believe the lithium is in those areas, and the government has closed it off. Yes, the plot thickens.
The man's efforts to help are now the source of controversy. He flew his own chopper on his own dime to help stranded victims, but that man says he abandoned his rescue missions after a fire official threatened to have him thrown in jail. Well, that man now wants answers and turned to Queen City News Chief Investigator Jody Barr to help figure out what went wrong here.
This is the original post that I was reading when I decided to go up and help. It's a long post, but she's saying that her kids and family and animals are trapped. No way out, no supplies, and the only way in or out is accessible by helicopter. Limited self-service and no water since Friday morning. I thought I have a helicopter and maybe I can help.
Jordan Sidham piled food and water into his helicopter Saturday and headed up toward Banner Elk. The only way through, a mountain gap in Lake Lure.
This is the mountain valley that you would have to fly to get to Black Mountain, where we were escorting people out. This is a mountain range, and this is a mountain range. The only place to fly through with bad visibility, low cloud coverage, is Lake Lure.
The cries for help from people stranded without food, water, or electricity hit social media soon after the flooding last Friday.
But my parents are stuck there. Their address is Banner Elk. They are in the first condo. If you receive this, please give me a call back. Thank you.
Sidham's phone started lighting up on Saturday with people begging for help.
I could hear the desperation in her voice. This is multiple phone calls I've received like this, voicemails, text messages, and you could hear people desperate for help.
Sidham and his son rescued 4 people on Saturday and spent the night in a nearby pilot's lounge, then decided to fly again Sunday morning.
I spoke with my son, which is my co-pilot, I said, hey, do you want to go back out and try to help today? And his response was, there's so many messages, I don't think we can't not go help.
Sidham and his son were headed up to Black Mountain. Flight tracking shows no flight restrictions in place Saturday or Sunday morning when Sidham flew through the Lake Lure Gap. But that was all about to change. The Sidham spotted an older couple waiting for help, then landed in what's left of their driveway.
Hey, I want you to let me get in. You step out and go out, help her in, put her bag in the back, get her strapped in. I'm going to take her down, come back. I'll take him, I'll come back. And then
They're in the way. They are directly interrupting our ability to conduct missions and operations. And I'm not going to disparage anybody because we are trying to work within partner relationships, both government and non-government entities within state and federal and county. I went to put a couple of people into a hotel last night, and they have a security guard at the hotel. And he said, "Oh, we're so sorry. The entire hotel has been booked for federal employees." And I was like, no, I have people that was just pulled out of a mountain that are living out in the hills, and there's not a place for me to put them because we have federal employees that are staying in the hotel. I slept in this white car last night. I smell like foot and death right now, as does every single person on our team. Not a single one of us slept. We got done maybe at 3 o'clock. The moment the sun was up and we could fly helicopters again, we were back in the air, and we have not stopped. And I was like on the fence about trying to get on this program or not. I want people to understand how incredible this organization is, Save Our Allies, and all the work that all of these volunteers are doing. But people, this is biblical level devastation. This is apocalyptic, the things that we see out there.
Mission in Asheville, North Carolina is getting more sinister by the day. Not only is the mud toxic and they're not letting people know, but we may have just figured out the reason why they are not allowing anyone to render aid to these people that are in desperate need for help. In Asheville, South Carolina, after 188 people are dead, there are survivors that need help, food, water, batteries. They are literally out there looting. People are trying to get in and help them, private agencies, people with their own helicopters, and they are not being allowed to pass. Police are blocking off stores. Sheriffs are not allowing people into or out of certain towns or areas to help these people. And then this morning, we have this very eerie tweet that claims to be the reason why. This needs to go far and wide to put pressure on the government to do the right thing and save lives. This is coming from a Peak Prosperity member who is in the same area of South Carolina where this is going on and a part of what they are trying to do as far as stopping people from getting aid. They wanted to remain anonymously and had this tweet put out by Chris Matson, PhD. They say that they can't post this online because it's not quite public yet, but government officials had a town meeting with all the residents of Chimney Rock and basically told them the town was being bulldozed. Bodies and the land was being seized by the federal government, and they would not be able to move back, and basically their homes, the ones they were standing, were no longer theirs, and the federal government owned it all. Went on to say that there are a lot of conspiracies about the lithium mines. This could be why we are seeing people not allowed to go in and out of Chimney Rock, Asheville, and these mudslides that are potentially hazardous. And they're not allowing anyone to do shit. Water, nothing. No one can be rescued. And it's not making sense what the federal government is up to.
So the semiconductor supply chain is entirely dependent on one mineral called high purity quartz. And virtually the entire global supply of that quartz comes from one tiny town called Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Now, Spruce Pine saw 2 feet of rainfall from Hurricane Helene. And now, nearly a week later, city officials tell me that there's still no water, power, or cell service. The infrastructure is completely disrupted to the point that roads and railways are so torn up that in some areas in the western part of the state, mules are being used to transport materials in and out. So the 2 companies that operate the quartz mines there, that's Zabelco and Quartz Corp, they tell us their work has been shut down since Thursday, and Quartz Corp adds that they have no visibility as to when operations can restart. So the question becomes not just whether the mines themselves have been damaged, but also whether it's possible to get the quartz out. Disruptions would impact not only the $5 billion quartz market, but the $600 billion semiconductor market that depends on it. And that quartz is also used in solar panels, fiber optic cables, and some light bulbs, which could all see some issues as well. And Kelly, I just spoke a few minutes ago with the head of TechSet. They track the quartz supply chain. Their best guess right now is 4 to 6 weeks until things are back up and running in Spruce Pine. And that's if the roads are able to be cleared. So that alone could lead to at least minor slowdowns for the chip makers. And every day that timeline gets extended, Kelly, the impact just multiplies.
Guys, so you've been seeing that people are not being rescued. They're being threatened with arrest if they bring their helicopters and other equipment to help rescue people in Western North Carolina. FEMA is MIA, although they claim that they're on the ground. It's all making sense now. I'm sure you've seen that apparently Western North Carolina is rich in lithium. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I will bet my life that Roy Cooper is behind this, along with our federal government, of trying to confiscate Western North Carolina for their mining. I would bet money that Roy Cooper and Tom Tillis and probably several others have invested in these mining companies coming to North Carolina for your electric vehicle. That can't work right now because we don't have any electricity. Isn't that funny? We don't have any electricity. But mark my words, Laura Loomer, look it up. Check out who's invested in these companies. Roy Cooper.
The King Lithium. That's why they're doing it. Those aren't rumors. It's true. Chimney Rock needs us. The Kings Mountain Mine, the planned Kings Mountain Mine, has one of the few known, guys, hard rock lithium deposits in the entire United States. The Department of Energy said last week it was investing $150 million to promote domestic production of critical minerals needed for the transition to cleaner energy. Kings Mountain is believed to be among one of the largest resources in the world for lithium. These people didn't stand a chance, and none of the people there can afford to rebuild. They knew what they were doing. They don't. Oh my God. I'm reading an article on NC Newsline that was put out in August of 2023, and it says right here that yet even in the name of clean transportation, extractive industries like lithium mining still pose environmental risks. In Gaston County, arsenic naturally occurs in the rock, and residents are concerned that the cancer-causing chemical will be released during Piedmont's mining operations. Those same operations would release greenhouse gases, 330,000 tons per year, or equivalent to emissions from 66,000 gas-fueled passenger cars. Despite its ground economic promises of $3.9 billion in cumulative economic output, 428 mining-related jobs, and $45 million to local and state tax offers, Piedmont Lithium had few friends in Gaston County. They were afraid that the drinking water would become polluted, run dry, or both. They were concerned about the noise, light, blasting dust, the permanent corruption of the landscape, the risk of fire, especially if lithium hydroxide comes into contact with water. Piedmont Lithium has likely lost those people for good. But that left Gaston County Commissioners, the defensive line between Piedmont Lithium and the Department of Environmental Quality, which had granted every mining permit application it had reviewed in the last 53 years. Listen up. It says, for the mine to be built, the county commissioners had to rezone the land. And at that time, commissioners, all of them Republican, were at best suspicious and at worst hostile toward the company, which made its first appearance before the body in 2 years. And it said that Commissioner Chairman Chad Brown said, "We've tried to work with you guys. This project is based on a lot of promises. This is the worst economic development rollout he'd ever seen." He had even asked the CEO of Piedmont Lithium, Keith Phillips, to attend the meeting. He was a no-show. It says in this article, these people have very valid concerns, said Commissioner Vice Chairman Bob Hovis. He challenged the CEO to come and speak face-to-face. It's offensive to us that he's not here. It said that this lithium mining company owned operations in Canada, Australia, and Ghana. They also proposed, now this is where I went to school. It said they also proposed lithium hydroxide manufacturing in McMinn County, Tennessee, which is not far from Knox, from the East Tennessee flood. Whoa. Wow.
Okay, by now we have all seen what's happened in North Carolina, Tennessee, the Appalachian Mountains, and from what I can tell, as many people that have been threatened to not go and help or been told to not go and help, one thing is very, very clear. Clear that they want the land. and they don't want anybody left to fight them for this land. So that way they can go and mine this lithium without having to fight battles against these people who own their land. It's clear. So a lot of you are asking, why won't they show it? Why won't they let us go help? And for a lot of y'all that are waiting for permission, are you fucking kidding me? Don't go wait for permission. Go and help. If that's what you're called to do, go and help. But it's clear as day. They want the land, and they don't want people to fight back.
Beneath the quiet Appalachian town of Spruce Pine, North Carolina, lies a hidden treasure. Quartz so pure it has the potential to change the world. This ultra-high purity quartz is a cornerstone for the global tech industry, especially in the production of semiconductors, a fact that has sparked conspiracies and controversies over control, power, and even survival. But what makes this seemingly ordinary mineral so extraordinary? It's estimated that the quartz in spruce pine supplies 70 to 90% of the world's semiconductor-grade quartz. Without it, the production of smartphones, laptops, medical devices, and even solar panels could grind to a halt. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Due to its global importance, the region's quartz has become the target of foreign interest, leading to concerns about national security. In 2024, North Carolina lawmakers moved to ban foreign ownership of these critical quartz mines, particularly from adversary nations like China and Russia. Some claim that secret attempts have already been made to control this resource through land purchases and trespassing incidents, sparking fears of a larger conspiracy. And the stakes are rising. Global demand for this quartz is surging with the AI boom, and the United States isn't taking any chances. There are whispers that the quartz found here is so unique in its purity that it can't be found anywhere else on Earth. If that's true, then control over this resource could determine the future of technological dominance. The Quartz Corp and Sibelco, two companies that run the operations, have tightened their grip with investments reaching hundreds of millions of dollars. But nature has its own plans. Hurricane Helene recently devastated spruce pine, halting production and raising concerns about the fragility of this crucial supply chain. A single road connects the mines to the world, and any disruption could send shockwaves through the global tech industry. What if a natural disaster wipes out this resource entirely? What would happen to the global tech giants that rely on it? The deeper question is, why this quartz? How did this tiny town become the linchpin of the world's semiconductor production? As global powers vie for control of this essential mineral, one thing is clear. Spruce Pine's quartz isn't just a rock. It's the foundation of our technological future.
So let me get this straight. Donald Trump, who is not the president of the United States of America, launches a GoFundMe page to help Hurricane Helene victims raise more than $1 million. And the rhetoric from the other side says we do not have any extra additional funding to help or save or raise for the victims of this hurricane that has absolutely decimated families of the United States of America. But yet we can send $8 billion over to Ukraine and hundreds of millions of dollars to fund Taiwan. And that is a threat to our democracy. And that is the man that doesn't give a shit about the American people. And that's the one that we shouldn't call our president, and the one that stands by our sides to make sure that our families are safe and sound. What I want you to do is send in your comments. I want you to send in your comments, how does it feel that hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of your tax-paying dollars are getting funneled overseas, but yet we have no extra money for the people down south that desperately need our help.
I don't care what your affiliation is and who you're choosing. All I care is about that our supposed governments, left and right, need to come together to help the Americans, not keep money laundering, not even funneling, money laundering. And who's getting, this money? The powers that be. While we all suffer. There's truly corruption and evil puppeteers.
What if I told you there's a huge conspiracy behind the flooding in North Carolina? For example, did you know that North Carolina has the richest supply of lithium in the country? And for those of you who don't know, lithium is used to create cars as well as batteries. But it's not just that. North Carolina also has the purest natural quartz in the world. And that same quartz deposit in North Carolina is fueling the world's AI revolution. Basically, North Carolina is the reason why so many microchips are being made. This is where the company Piedmont Lithium enters the equation. They were actually awaiting a state mining permit for a site in northern Gaston County. But remember, it's flooded now. It was also waiting for zoning approval because of the backlash they were getting from the citizens as well as city officials. But this lithium mine that they want is the third largest lithium producer in the world. Plus, they've already made a deal with Tesla. And going back to the quartz and spruce pine, they also want to expand the mines as well, but the citizens are also getting backlash there as well. Now, just to put a disclaimer, I'm not saying a company made a man-made flood over there in North Carolina, but isn't it just so convenient for Piedmont Lithium for this flood to have happened? Because that area is a mountain town, which means floods don't really happen there. So most likely, a lot of these people don't have flood insurance. So it is possible a lot of these people could get displaced. And Piedmont Lithium now has control of these lands. More specifically, the mines. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, make sure to share this with friends and give me a follow.
I'm not saying that the government, they have the ultimate power to flood that, the surrounding areas. But I believe they controlled and manipulated the storm to their benefit. We're just getting started with this rabbit hole. This is part 3 of the climate change series. We're going to do a part 4 on BlackRock and the ties and the benefits that they will have if they have seized to this mining operation. All right, that wraps up another one for the HFC podcast. Thank you for being here with me today. It's so awesome seeing all of you in the comments, all of you liking these videos and, subbing up. You guys are totally awesome. Welcome to the HFC family. If you have not done so already, like, sub, and share. And you could always change your mind at any time. I love you guys. You guys are totally dope. Stay safe, stay blessed in these dark, deceptive times. HFC out. Peace.